JB here, JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Wednesday, November 27th, 8:56. Want to wish everybody a quick, early, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Talk really quick about the market some names I'm looking at. Go from there, but take a look at the S&P off the lows overnight. It looked like maybe we're going to have a red session if you look at the headlines. And markets have recouped most of the losses from earlier this morning. S&P slightly in the green, or at least S&P futures. We had data this morning, so the PCE data came in a tad lower than expectations. That's a good sign. Weekly jobless claims came in mostly in line. GDP, I think it's the second revision of GDP data. That came in flat, 2.8% versus the 2.8% estimate. So all systems go. I've been saying it for the last couple sessions, 610. Maybe I've been saying it since last week too. I think that 610 is going to come. It's just a matter of what happens after that. So uh, I'm pending any crazy move today and the half day Friday. Gonna have to probably wait till next week, and then also pending shenanigans, right? Geopolitical situations. At some point, there's gonna be a big move in crypto, whether it's from up from 100 down to 80, or it's gonna be at 120 down to 100, and that might shake markets a little bit. But I think there were some silver linings yesterday. I mean, despite small caps falling, the VIX keeps melting, and then despite names like the MicroStrategy and some of these other crypto names that have been a tear getting beaten up yesterday, markets still held their grounds, and some of that's because of the Magnificent Seven. Amazon had a great day, so on and so forth. Uh, take a look at the SPY. When I was doing a rant yesterday, it was like a 0.3% trading range, and then we finally broke over 600 in the late afternoon, closed over 600, all-time highs, and then very tight range, which I think is like the fourth session in a row where I say it's just what the doctor ordered. A nice, solid session, no crazy volatility, no big gap, no big gap down, and yeah. So maybe we get another offer, another prescription for a what the doctor offered session today. So that's the overall markets. Now they're over 600. Want to see that? That was support resistance. So if we can hold that today, that'll be new support. If not, 595 has been that spot. So I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, that's what I'll be watching. And then small caps took a breather. I mean, they were up 6% for over the last 5 sessions, down 0.75%. But here they are, back in rally mode. Small cap futures are up over 1% right now. Actually 0.79%. They were 1% just a little bit ago. That's a good sign. Love small caps outperforming into the end of the year. So that's overall markets, individual names. Short interest gets updated. So everybody always has this short interest data they cite, and it's like it's not official short interest data because NASDAQ requires brokerages and firms they have a settlement date, and then the settlement date they have to give all that data to the NASDAQ, and then they get all that short data information, and then they put it out. I think it's every 2 weeks. So that's the official short interest data. Unfortunately, it's lagging, right? So the the data that came out yesterday lags like a week or a week and a half. I think actually November 15th. So it's an 11-day lag. I don't know if that's the exact lag it is every time, but in my opinion, gives the most accurate data. Unfortunately, a couple days or a couple days behind the curve. But then there's other folks who think they have the data. Maybe they do. I don't. I take that with a grain of salt. But that came out yesterday, so you take a look at a stock like Joby. 5 million shares recovered over that 11-day period. Short interest down to 16% from 18%. It's lowest short interest since the summer of last year. And I don't know if some of that has to do with dilution. So I don't know what the outstanding and share count and the float was back last year because there has been some dilution. So it kind of skews the number just a little bit. But good sign in my opinion. You take it both ways, right? So sometimes you want a high short interest, but to me, you want the high short interest before the squeeze. And then as it starts to go, then you want to see covering, right? Because then that means, hey, you're right on your case. They're covering their short, and then free markets could take their course, and the stock goes to where it should be going. Still love Joby here. Gap down yesterday, struggled, got over $8, couldn't hold it, and then just chopped around for the rest of the day. This morning, it's gapping over 8. I would love to add some more strikes here. I'll be patient. Still lock some nice profits in already this week, running freebies. And if I do get some strikes, they'll be the April calls. I want to see the premiums come out. Probably I'll get some. I don't know if I'll get the 10s as well, depending on what those come down to. That's Joby. And then I keep saying 962. That's the big spot on Joby. So if you're looking at the long-term chart, that'd be the next spot. I'd be at least the next target. And if it breaks through that, it's going to be off to the races. Teladoc down 5% yesterday, and similar to some of these other names that took a breather yesterday. All things considered, I mean, it was up 15% the day before, so gave back some of those gains. Zoom got destroyed, or I would say destroyed, but it was took it on the chin yesterday despite a strong quarter. So maybe just a little churn here, and then I think FOMO hasn't even kicked yet in yet. This can be over $15 in the coming weeks and months. Great story, and again, they're going to have a investor day on the 12th, I believe it is. Yeah. So that's Teladoc. Not too much to talk about that one. Lemonade also had the updated short interest yesterday, and I finally exited the calls for with 2,200%. Just had a couple of Decembers. I put on the watch list. You don't want to be in a spot, especially a name that's divisive. You have a lot of folks who are short the name. I didn't want to be in a spot with December expiration. I mean, it's not coming soon, but every day that ticks by is a day of less premium. That so many shorts come out with some kind of another hit piece, or there's another analyst downgrade. And, considering where my options were seriously in the money, the a $5 hit on that's just going to destroy them. So I didn't want to be in a spot where that happened. And I thought $60. So am I going to hold for that $60 target? I'm probably best waiting for either premiums to come down or try to get some spec calls if I want to trade for that move. So I'll hold on, sit on the sidelines for now. But the funny thing is, the short interest for Lemonade came out yesterday, and there was actually an increase, and that's from November 15th when the stock was at $35. Here it is at 50. Was the move from 20 to 35? There was no covering, right? So, I mean, pretty remarkable stuff. It'll be interesting to see the next short interest update. If it's still high, I mean, this thing could squeeze, especially once it starts to get to 70, 80, 90, then it could really take off. So don't be surprised to put on a watch list that if I looked for some 2025 strikes to play for move over 80, but I'm going to be patient, wait for some of the premiums to come out if I get a chance. If not, maybe I'll sit on my hands. All right, that's that. Square, I posted this yesterday. That 89 handle has been kind of rock solid since last week. If that holds today again, I think it's headed back over 94. And once it breaks 94, I'll get some more strikes. Similar to these other names, you had the whole crypto space getting destroyed yesterday. I wouldn't say destroyed, but took it on the chin, and Square was only down 2%. And considering where it's come from, I think that's actually a bullish sign. So hopefully it holds its ground here. I mean, the unfortunate thing, it finally gets an analyst upgrade and the stock falls, right? It's funny how that works. Peloton was over $10 yesterday for a fraction. I was late morning, and then it couldn't hold that, and then it closed down flat. Only a matter of time before this breaks and holds the 10. Once it does, then I'll look for some more strikes. Still holding my January calls there. Unity also took it on the chin yesterday, down about 2.75%. Still like that one. We'll be patient. I locked most of my calls in already. It's unfortunate. It has these swings where it gets up to $25 and then it gives $1 back in a matter of 30 minutes. So tough to hold on. I'll just be patient there. Again, another name was $17 only a couple weeks ago. So nothing to complain there. Still eyeing Travelzoo. It hit $20, multi-year highs, but it just moves so slow. I still think it heads over 25 in the coming weeks. So maybe I'll get some spec December strikes and then start looking for later dated calls, but going to be patient. Also looking at Intuit. Nice little bounce yesterday, but then it faded into the close. And then I guess a little Kramer pump yesterday. So I don't think that matters too much, but 632 is kind of like the spot. If it breaks 632, I think that's a nice setup for a move, at least maybe into the low 620s and then possibly 615 or so. And if you get the 580 puts, December strikes, those will at least be a double if that moves like that. Trying to think of some of the other names here. Oh, my top 5 stocks. I'm still working on those. And of course, some of the names, some regrets this year will be missing on my Sterling. STRL is up 125% so far. It was $200 here in the pre-market. Just a monster. Also, Agilicis up 62%, and then the rest have kind of been duds. MTH is only up 11% year to date. GPCR, which at times was up over 50%, but has come down. Who knows? It could be a buyout at the end of the year. And then the other one was STAA. Star Surgical is actually great at the start of the year as well. I think they're up a cumulative 35%, and that's versus the S&P's 26%. So 35% is nice, but considering what the market's done, probably want to see 40, 50%. But the year's not over yet. But I'll be working on those. So typically when I do my top 5 stock webinar, sometimes I find some gems before the year is out. So don't be surprised if you see some. One day you see me add a strike and you wonder, what is this name? What is this company? And it might be one of my top 5 stocks. I think it's like 14 years. I have to go check how long we've been doing this top 5 stock webinar. But that's it, folks. Let's have a great day. 25 minutes to the open. I'll be back on later. Rock and roll.